So back when I was an undergrad at Syracuse, I was a huge psychology nerd. So I was like in the basement, in the psych lab. I did all these independent studies instead of classes, and I was really on track to go get my PhD, be a clinical psychologist. I applied for a position that I was way overqualified for at a hospital here in the Boston area, and I didn't get it, and it like devastated me. And I was sitting there going, okay, what am I going to do then? Why didn't I get this? I did a lot of self-reflection. It ultimately led me to the decision to try something out for a while that was different. I joined a web analytics company where I managed our largest account, which was Google, and it was an incredibly high stress. And I ended up needing to leave after I had my son, my first child, which is a pretty common story for mothers in technical fields. And I actually stayed home for 4 years with my two kids. And when I went back to work, I raised with the team 9.6 million in funding, which was great, but it was a very difficult process. And being in the fundraiser role exposed me to how inefficient fundraising actually is, both for the founders and for the investors. And there are systemic challenges for underrepresented groups. So for women, for people of color, for any underrepresented or even under-networked person. And that's where I got the idea for the company I'm doing now. I am looking to facilitate connections between underrepresented founders and investors looking to diversify how they source. So I work with founders to create a robust pitch deck that includes all the elements that an investor wants to see, which if you're underrepresented, you often don't know what is supposed to go in there. And then you never get a first meeting, which is really a silly reason to not get a first meeting. And then I work with them to also develop a high-level pitch video. So I have, again, back to my passion for psychology, humans interpret visual information much better than we do static information, which is what a pitch deck is. And it really disadvantages underrepresented groups if they can't show their passion for what they're doing or their character. So you just don't know where your career is going to go. And I think it's hard when you're younger, and especially when you're, graduating and you're so ambitious and like everyone's getting these, amazing sounding jobs and I got to get that too. You have so much life ahead of you, and you don't gain a lot of the life perspective until you're older, until you, have that experience behind you. And so it's okay to, whatever your first step is, it's okay, and it's not going to be your last step.